Welcome, everybody, to the Big Ten Tournament Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. And I'm here with a legend, Steve Risley, 1981 national champion, University of Indiana. He even graduated. How you doing, Steve?
Oh, it's not University of Indiana. That's in
Indiana, I
Pennsylvania.
know. That's why I said it. Because
Indiana
once a year,
University.
I like to say it because when I do, you always do that, and it makes me happy to make you have some distress.
Well, see, I don't understand that, Mike. Why do you do that? I don't.
It's fun.
I do not live to make you put stress in your life, and
Yes, you do. You always have.
Well, then quit having me on the damn show.
No, I like the stress.
Masochistic.
All right, guys. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Wednesday. I think it's 3:30 is the tip-off for the first game of this tournament. Now, when we start off going into this tournament, I'm not going to ask you who's going to win the tournament right now because we're going to break down each game as we predict it to see what we come up with. Who is your favorite? Who do you think is the best team entering the tournament? Not who was the best team all year, but right now, who would be your favorite to win the tournament and who would be your dark horse?
My favorite to win the tournament. Yeah. I think my favorite. I don't know what to put him as favorite or dark horse. I'm just going to say my favorite to win this tournament is Michigan. My dark horse is Wisconsin. No, I'm going to flip that. My favorite to win the tournament is Wisconsin. My dark horse is Michigan.
Really? I don't think there's a chance in hell Michigan's winning anything the rest of the year.
I don't throw Dusty May out. A guy's been to the Final Four.
But his players.
I like that. I like coaches that have succeeded high end and gone to the top of these tournaments. They know how to get it done. They know how to get this Michigan team has responded to Dusty. In 1 year, he's taken them from shithouse to penthouse. And I just think they're hungry. They're eager. They'll listen. Dusty's a good coach. I like the chemistry of the Michigan Wolverines. I know they've been kind of down in the craps a little lately, but every team goes through a slump. They solidified themselves early. They had the luxury of having a little slump. I think they're ready to play. I think Dusty knows how to get this team ready. I like Michigan as a dark horse. I said a dark horse. I like Wisconsin just has firepower and size and hustle and good coaching and Michigan State's just relying on good coaching and if those players don't do what Izzo tells them to do, they're going to be the Michigan State half the time we've seen them this season. So my dark horse is Michigan. My prediction to win the tournament is Wisconsin.
All right, so let's go ahead and listen.
What's yours?
Well, I don't have to have one. I'm the host of the show.
Oh my God, that's the last time I'm talking.
I would say this. Honestly,
I'm done.
Honestly, I think my favorite coming in is Illinois or Wisconsin.
At number 7 seed, Illinois is a scary thought. That's a 7
because
seed.
I think we've seen whenever they're healthy and they're playing well. They're a bitch to handle to get the two foreign guys that Steve can't pronounce their names, so I don't like to show off and pronounce them to make him look bad.
As a 7 seed, 7 seed coming into this, they've got probably one of the easiest roads in for the better team.
Yeah, and I like Wisconsin too. My only issue with Wisconsin is they're a team that if they're hot, you can't beat them. But if they're off a little bit, anybody can beat them. And that's
they rely a lot on the 3-point shot.
Yeah, they shoot it, but they shoot the hell out of it.
They shoot the hell out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really, to me, another dark horse is Oregon. I think it's hard to ignore a team that's that athletic, that has beaten Alabama, that, they beat Alabama.
Now, see, Mike, what the hell?
What?
Why do you pick Oregon? Oregon's not going to get past my beloved Hoosiers.
Okay, Steve. We'll talk about that.
The show still is a structure based on Indiana basketball.
Okay.
Even though we're predicting the whole tournament, you just pissed off half of our fans. Oh, Oregon's going to be the dark horse.
I didn't even say they would win. I just said I could see them being a dark horse.
Oregon's one and done.
All right, Steve. We're going to start off with tomorrow, 2:30. This is going to make everybody happy because all the first round games are on Peacock, which makes everybody shit their pants and lose their minds. Because
I got Peacock. I love Peacock.
I know, but the problem is you got a lot of people that $5.99 makes or breaks their entire budget for the month.
$5.99. I got the $12.99 package. I get rid of commercials.
Ooh, you get rid of commercials. Well, I wish you could get rid of the, it buffers constantly for me, but luckily it's just day one. Minnesota is the number 12 seed. They're going to battle Northwestern, the 13 seed. Now, Chris Collins, I think, has done a really good job with this team this year. You had, Barnheiser, their best player, went down. Since then, though, Northwestern's played well. Right around 500. Minnesota's coached by Ben Johnson has done a great job with this team because Minnesota, not a lot of talent there, but they're a very tough, hard-nosed team. They pulled off a few upsets this year, Steve. I expect this game to probably have a 2 or 3 point favorite one way or the other. Who do you like, Minnesota or Northwestern?
I think Martinelli is, averaging over 20 points a game. I don't know Minnesota has anything for Martinelli and Chris Collins. Martinelli's a heck of a player. He eats teams alive. They might be, if they can get a defensive effort to shut him down, but there's other guys that will step up, and Collins will find that, and he'll put the right offense together for that. I like Northwestern in this one.
All right, get this right now. Jay Menton got in before Robert Stewart to say hi. And he is from the home of Steve Green, and then of course Robert
Silver Lake, Silver Springs, Silver Lake, somewhere in there.
No. All right, so I think this is a complete toss-up game, Northwestern and Minnesota. I'm going to lean towards Northwestern also. Yeah. I think you may have a bigger contingent of fans there, so
yeah,
I'm going to take Northwestern in this game also, I believe. Okay. The next game up, though, is a huge game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They play game number 2.
Winning in.
Well, it's not winning in, but if you don't win, you're not
done.
Yeah,
losing done.
Right now, and that's the other thing. We'll talk about that with Indiana, where today Joe Lenardi had moved Indiana down, so they were one of the last 4 in and had to play the play-in game. So there's a lot of moving parts here over the next week. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have to win. They're going to battle the number 15 seed Iowa. Iowa barely snuck into the tournament. They upset Nebraska, knocked Nebraska out of the Big Ten tournament. And this is a huge game, and Iowa could score points. Ohio State is a tough-minded, poorly coached basketball team. Iowa can fill it up. Defensively, they're not very good, Steve. What do you think?
I think Ohio State's better than a 7-14 record would suggest.
You mean 17-14? Sellersburg. He's from Sellersburg.
Sellersburg. Okay. Green's not from Sellersburg, is he? I thought Green was from Silver Lake or Silver Springs or Silver something. I don't know. I don't know.
Green, so what do you think? Do you like Ohio State here? Do you think?
Yeah, I like Ohio State. They're number 34 in the Ken Palm ratings. They're not a slouch team. They're just hot and cold. If the hot Ohio State team shows up, it's a done deal. The problem is we don't know which Ohio State. If the team that shows up against Indiana, they may be out. Iowa will get them because they did not look good against Indiana. And I don't know enough about their coach, if he's tournament prepped or not. Does he have any track record in the tournament?
So you'd have to get there to have a track record.
All right, so he has no track record in the tournament.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he did and I forgot about it. But this is the thing. Iowa, to me, pulls the upset, Steve.
Okay.
I like Iowa. I like Peyton Sanford hitting the threes. I think Iowa is just going to go out. They're going to play free. They lost Owen Freeman, which was a killer for Iowa, especially inside. But Peyton Stanford has stepped up. Josh Dix has stepped up. Drew Thulwell, Brock Harding. They're not a good basketball team, but they're a very tough basketball team. And if they start to shoot the ball well from 3, I think they could beat Ohio State. That
could be your first day upset right there. And it's not a bad prediction, Mike. Seriously, I Like again, you just don't know which Ohio State team's going to show up. They have two completely different basketball teams.
This is an Ohio State team that went to Kentucky or went to Madison Square Garden, beat Kentucky by 20, and before that had lost to Indiana and lost like 3 out of 4 going into that game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So both of these teams are capable of throwing some stuff up there. But Iowa's coming off a big win against Nebraska. I think they're on a little bit of a roll.
Ohio State's coming off an ugly loss to Indiana.
They're coming off an ugly loss to Indiana. So that moves us on. So there's my first upset pick. Now we've got the number 11 seed, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights will battle USC Trojans, who are the number 14 seed. Of course, Rutgers has been probably the biggest disappointment in the Big Ten this year. They had Bailey and Harper. Supposed to be 2 lottery guys. We're supposed to turn this program around. The problem was they didn't recruit much else outside of those 2 guys. Yeah. But it seemed like for half the year, at least one of them was down. Now, I think this could be one where maybe going from the West Coast to the Midwest plays a difference here, Steve. I don't know. But this game to me is a complete toss-up. But I like Rutgers to get the win here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite direction, Mike. I'm gonna go USC. I've seen USC play a little bit, be down here in LA. Rutgers, I know Bailey and Harper, but you're right. Rutgers has been a total disappointment. I think we had some high expectations for that team. I mean, to be solidly in the tournament by this time, I don't know. I just think USC's got to live up to their women's team because the girls just.
Well, they lost UCLA. They lost the Big Ten championship too.
Yeah, but they play here. You got the first year of the women's Big Ten tournament with these teams in, and both USC and UCLA are playing for the Big Ten women's championship. The future of things to come. Yeah, I'm going to take USC in the upset on this one by just a few points, but I just think Rutgers. Again, it's just like Ohio State. You don't know which team's going to show up.
All right, we're going to go to the second round, Thursday, March 13th at Gamebridge at noon on the Big Ten Network. The Oregon Ducks, the number 8 seed, will battle the Indiana Hoosiers, the number 9 seed. Of course, these teams played a week ago in Oregon. Oregon pulled away in the last minute or two to win the game. I'm taking Oregon here. I'm an IU fan. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Shellstad. He hits big shots in clutch situations. You got Dana Altman, who's one of the best tournament coaches there are out there. I'm going to take Oregon to beat Indiana, Steve.
Yeah, I think this is not going to have a lot of the same characteristics as they had in Oregon. I mean, the crowd definitely favored Oregon out there. The 3-hour road trip for Indiana, the second leg of it, having already spent time in Washington and that. So this game's going to be at Gamebridge. It's going to be a very heavy IU contingent. The crowd's going to be wild. They want Indiana to dance. They're going to be rooting for Woody to win and go out a winner. I know Woody's beloved and justifiably, and that's his hometown. Indy is, and I think the fans are behind this team. I think the team has shown me that they can play. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, only losing to Oregon. Other than that, they've beaten everybody else, including Purdue. I'm going to take Indiana on this one. If you call it an upset, it's 8 versus 9.
Not an upset. The game will be a toss-up, probably.
Actually, I would think Indiana playing at a Gamebridge would be a little slightly favored.
I don't, because I don't think home court advantage is that big a deal.
That's why you get paid to pick them, and I don't.
All right, next up, we've got Wisconsin, and you have them against Northwestern. So do I. I think this is an easy one, Steve, but I think it will be a closer game than what people think, because I think Northwestern defensively is pretty decent, but I think Wisconsin pulls away to win this one. Yeah,
Wisconsin's number 11 in the KenPoms. They're a Final Four contending team. If they keep hitting from the outside like they've done all season, they're going to be hard to beat because they force you to play high perimeter defense, which spreads out your defense. It allows for a more porous environment in the middle. They've got good bigs that are very maneuverable. They play it well inside. This is as complete a basketball team as there is in the Big Ten. I think. I mean, as long as their guards are shooting. If they go cold, they've lost 50% of their offense, and they're just like any other Big Ten basketball team. But like I said, I like Wisconsin to win the whole damn thing, as long as they're playing well. So, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Oh, man, that's sad because we're getting to the next round where you're going to have to pick Wisconsin to beat Indiana then. All right.
Shit happens.
We've got Illinois versus Iowa for me. Illinois versus Ohio State from you. I'm going to say Illinois, Iowa. I think the brakes fall off of Iowa. I think Illinois takes them down. I think Illinois is a very athletic, talented team. They rebound the ball well. When they're all healthy and playing well together, put it like this. Without injuries this year, I think they finished probably in the top 2 in the Big Ten. They may finish number 1. I'm going to say Illinois beats Iowa in Thursday's second round. What do you think, Steve?
I agree.
Illinois versus Ohio State.
I agree. Coming in as the number 7 seed, as we talked about, that's dangerous for the Big Ten tournament. Illinois is a sleeper team.
And if you've got Ohio State in there, this is a win where Ohio State wins this game against Illinois, and they're going to be in the tournament then.
Yeah, but I don't think they win this game. I mean, Illinois comes in on a 3-game winning streak, including beating Michigan and Purdue. The Illini are getting healthy right now, and they can shoot the 3 ball too. They're capable of drilling from the outside, which carries a lot of clout in the Big Ten tournament or in the month of March. All so right. I'm with you. I like Illinois to be possibly in the Final Four in the championship game.
All right, then you've got Purdue versus USC. I've got Purdue versus Rutgers. I'll let you start off with your Purdue versus USC pick.
I got Purdue in this one.
Yeah, I've got Purdue over Rutgers also. Rutgers is a 2-man team and Purdue's a 3-man team, so that should work out pretty good for them.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Friday, March 14th, the quarterfinals. All right, you've got Michigan State versus Indiana at noon on the Big Ten Network. Who do you like, Michigan State or Indiana?
Indiana went up there and put it to Michigan State.
And ever since then, Michigan State hasn't lost, I don't think, again.
Yeah, I know. No.
They tend to piss them off.
You know what? There's you don't spit into the wind, you don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't screw around with Tom Izzo at tournament time. I gotta go. Unfortunately for my Hoosier beloved, if I'm betting this game, I'm betting Michigan State. If I'm hearting this game with my heart, I'm picking
Nobody
Indiana.
cares about heart because we both picked by our heart. Indiana would win. So Steve takes Michigan State over Indiana.
Yeah,
I am going to do this. I'm going to take Oregon over Michigan State. I like Oregon. I like Dana Altman. It's still any team to beat Alabama stands out to me earlier in the year. I like Oregon to pull the upset here. All right, next up, I think we both got UCLA versus Wisconsin, Steve.
Yeah, no-brainer. Wisconsin wins this game.
See, I don't think this is a no-brainer because of this. I mean, number one, they played, I think, close to the regular season. But on top of that, you've got UCLA. If any team can defend Wisconsin, it's UCLA. Now, the question is, can UCLA put up enough points? I kind of agree with you there. I think Wisconsin wins the game, but I think the game is extremely close. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, UCLA won in Los Angeles by a few points back in January. But, but that was a home game. And, again, with teams traveling out there's this whole thing for the Big Ten until they get used to that road swing. And it's going to take a year or two for teams to get used to making that trip out to the West Coast.
No, it ain't. Everybody's roster changes every year now.
Well, I guess that's true with the portal they changed. So it's
why I think this though. Maybe the coaches figure it out a little bit more.
Coaches figure it out more, know how to prepare their team maybe a little bit better. I don't know, but it's definitely going to be part of the factors. But I think coming back to Gamebridge, playing in Indy, Wisconsin has a good travel contingent. They're going to be out down there. I like Wisconsin by not a lot of points because UCLA is a decent basketball team. It's just I don't care much for their coach. Cronin.
Nobody does.
He
I
may
don't
be a
care much.
good
I don't
coach.
care much for Wisconsin's coach either.
I can't get over Cronin being such a butthead that I don't even look at his coaching style. He may be a good coach. He just
Oh,
got so
there's no
obnoxious.
doubt he's a good coach. I mean, his teams win games. All
Yeah, but
right.
he's so damn obnoxious.
The other side of the quarterfinal bracket. That means I have Oregon versus Wisconsin in the semifinal. You have Michigan State versus Wisconsin. Now, on the other side of the bracket in the quarterfinals, Maryland versus Illinois, I believe, is what we both have. What do you think about Maryland, Illinois, Steve? I mean, this is a great matchup.
It's a great matchup because Maryland really is a quiet killer in the Big Ten. Nobody talks about Maryland a lot. They're the number 2 seed in the tournament. Surprisingly, nobody talks much about them. I tell you what, I'm going to go with Illinois in this one only because Champaign-Urbana is an easy car drive to Indianapolis, and I think they'll have some people there. I think the teams are about as evenly matched as you can get. Illinois has to stay healthy, and they need perimeter shooting in this game. Maryland can get up and down the court with the best of them. They're fast, they're quick, their breaks are good, they're well organized, they're well coached. This is a toss-up game, but I'll take Illinois just simply because I think Champaign-Urbana is closer than wherever the hell College Park.
Okay. I'm going to take Maryland. I think they're the better team.
Yeah, I don't think
Reese.
you're. Yeah,
You got Reese and Nev. I think it's a toss-up, though. I just think when it comes down to it, I think Maryland defensively is a little bit tougher. The thing that does worry me is Maryland does not play well away from Maryland, but Illinois doesn't play that great away from Illinois, so they kind of cancel each other out.
Really, Indianapolis is almost like Illinois. It's more like Illinois than like I said.
It doesn't matter, though, Steve.
Yeah.
The court's the same size as all the courts they've ever played on.
I know. I saw that scene in Hoosiers.
Yeah. Okay. I was making sure. But next up, we've got Michigan, the number 3 seed. We both got them against Purdue. Who do you like here, Steve?
Well, I picked Michigan as a dark horse, but Purdue plays well. Let's see. Michigan's lost 3 straight.
They've lost them bad, too.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, they're down. I'll tell you what. I'm going to take Purdue in this one.
Okay, I'm taking Purdue also because right now Michigan may not be able to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, you're right. And I would now change my dark horse pick to probably Michigan State. I probably Wisconsin, and my favorite was Michigan State.
All right, so we'll go to our semifinal predictions, which I've got Oregon versus Wisconsin. Steve's got Michigan State versus Wisconsin. Steve, you want to go first?
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Doesn't matter. We're picking different games. So.
Yeah. I got to stick with Michigan State, although I think Wisconsin, if any team in the Big Ten can beat them, it's Wisconsin can beat Michigan State. But I got to go with the Izzo factor. He's a better coach. And I think the team will be ready to play tournament time. I never count an Izzo coach team out in tournaments. And for that reason and that reason alone, I know if Wisconsin starts bombing 3-pointers, it's lights out. But Michigan State, Izzo is the coach who can figure out how to stop that or defend it and guard it. So I'm going Michigan State in this one.
All right. And I've got Oregon versus Wisconsin, correct, Stephen?
Okay.
And I think the way I'm going with this is Oregon beat them in football 16-13. So I'm sure no. And I know they played a tough game. And I think Oregon came from pretty far behind to upset Wisconsin. But I'm going to go Oregon, Steve. What the hell? I ain't got no money on it right now.
Wow.
So
You're liking Oregon into the championship game now.
I have liked them all the way into the championship game. And that brings us to Purdue versus Maryland for both of us, Steve. And I can tell you this, I'm going to go or no, you got Purdue, Illinois. I've got Purdue, Maryland. I'm going to go Maryland versus Oregon in a championship game. Who do you got? You going to take Purdue or you going to take Illinois?
I'm going to take Purdue.
So your championship game will be Purdue against Michigan, or Purdue against Wisconsin, or Michigan
No,
State?
Purdue against Michigan State.
All right. Who do you have winning it all there?
Michigan State.
All right. So I will say this. Michigan State all around may be the best team, but I think their lack of shooting ability is going to make it really hard to win 3 games in a row against good competition in 3 days.
They'll wear themselves out if they don't. They won't have the luxury just standing out there and bombing.
No,
they'll definitely get tired.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Oregon to win it. What the hell? Anybody can pick some team you expect to win it.
Nothing wrong with that pick.
And hopefully I flame out in the first round and that pick goes to hell and I'll just replace it with Indiana.
That would be a good one to miss, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
We got to miss one. We want to miss the although I picked Indiana over Oregon, so.
Yes, you did, Steve. Yes, you did. But I just like Oregon has played really well, especially since about the third week of February. And it started with a 77-73 win where they were down double digits in the first half to the Wisconsin Badgers. And I think Dana Altman is a very underrated basketball coach.
Okay. You said that.
Comment.
You said that multiple times.
Joseph Mays, IU revenge game, home court inspires the Hoosiers. Now, how big's the home court going to be? How many people showing up at noon to go crazy for a 9 seed?
Oh, I think there'll be a ton of IU fans there.
That's not the question. The question, how loud they're going to be. We haven't seen very many loud IU crowds anymore. It's
going to be 9 o'clock in the morning for me, baby.
It's going to be pretty early for everybody at noon.
And I got to turn on. I'm not even going to watch the whole game because I got the Players Championship starting at 10 on Golf Channel.
So you're going to stop watching a IU game that could get them into the tournament for a golf tournament that you'll fall asleep
I play golf. I don't play basketball anymore.
When's the last time you played golf?
It's been in 2018 because of my.
When's the last time you played basketball? I think mine was like 1995. I ended up playing with my football team every once in a while.
You know how I ended basketball? I was playing at the YMCA one time with a bunch of guys, just pickup games, and some guy was on my ass like there was no tomorrow. Risley, national champion, I can kick your ass. I can, the guy was just mouthing off like crazy. So the YMCA, you got about 2 feet between the bucket and the wall. Now, fortunately, the wall's padded. So I got pissed at him. I went up, wrapped him when he was going up for a layup, and slammed him into the wall as hard as I could. I mean, I stunned myself. Knocked him to the ground. He was not unconscious, but he was like dazed. I got up and said, that's it. I tried to kill him. I tried to hurt him. I'd had enough of it. And I said, that's time to walk away from the game.
So was he giving you issues? Were you having a hard time stopping him or what?
No. He just was mouthing off.
I know. I
wasn't even guarding him.
You just did it for fun.
I did it because I just got pissed off at the guy mouthing off. And I thought, what would Larry Bird do?
Well, Larry Bird probably would have just lit him up for like 15 consecutive threes and then slammed him.
Not Larry Bird.
And then slammed him into the wall.
But I put him in the wall hard and it stunned him. And I got up, grabbed my bag and my towel and
got out of there before the cops came. Yeah.
Looked behind me to make sure the guy didn't have a gun in his bag.
Yeah, make sure the cops aren't coming. You got to get out of there.
Cops aren't coming. I got the hell out of there, and I don't think I ever played serious basketball ever again.
Yeah, I think the last time I did was 1995.
Yeah, that was probably early 90s, maybe. I don't know when.
You know what? I miss playing basketball. You know why?
Why?
Because back then everything didn't hurt when I tried to move.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Steve. So you have a championship game of Illinois versus Purdue. Mine's Oregon versus Maryland.
I got Michigan State versus Purdue.
Oh, do you? Okay. I thought. Yeah, that's right. So you got Michigan State, Purdue. That's boring. I got Oregon and Maryland. That's weird.
That's
So
not going to happen.
how many times have you laughed at me like this, and then it happened?
Well, that's the fun of it, Mike. I get to have my 15 minutes of fun right now.
Yeah, but I'm
because you're going to do this, and it's going to end up getting a phone call from you Sunday at about 3 o'clock. Look who's playing in the championship game. It's Oregon and Maryland.
Yeah.
And, you'll let me know about it, and I'll shut up, Goodpaster.
All right, so we've got IU plays Thursday at noon. We will come live right after the game, probably 15 to 20 minutes after the game. We'll be live to break down Indiana's win over Oregon and look at
Thursday?
Michigan State. Yeah.
Dude, that's the Players' Championship.
Nobody cares about a Players' Championship.
I care.
It's a bunch of fags, dude.
It's the 17th hole of Sawgrass, the Island Green. I played it twice.
Well, is there any of the listeners out there who
would
like to fill in for Steve?
I hit one in the water the first time, and I birdied it the second time.
Joseph, Menton, Robert, anybody want to just take Steve's place for Thursday? Because there's Players' Championship. That sounds like some swing club.
They do better than I do. I am not a predictor of games.
We're not predicting a game, then we're breaking down the game.
Okay.
It'll take a half hour.
Okay, Mike, what's the latest on IU making the tournament right now? You said you've heard some things about.
I didn't say they got
where they sit. Well, production meeting, where do they sit right now?
Well, Lenardi a couple hours ago moved them to the play-in game.
Okay.
So I think anybody that thinks this is a done deal, that they're in the tournament, I think you need to win against Oregon. If they don't beat Oregon, if the game's close, they're probably all right. But I don't feel too good about this when you look at this and you look at all the things that can happen in between now and then. Indiana needs to beat Oregon.
I think if they lose to Oregon, they could easily be out of the tournament.
Especially if it's like if they lose 80 to 68 or 80 to 70.
If they get hammered on conceivably what's considered their secondary home court. If they get hammered, I think that their chances of making advancing are slim and none.
Yeah, if they get hammered, I think they're out. Yeah. So all the people running around, it's just like if Ohio State was to beat Iowa and then upset Illinois, Ohio State's in. So
yeah.
And the people that drive me nuts are the people like, well, we beat them twice and our record's better than theirs. But if you look at their KenPom and you look at the teams they've beaten, we may have their number, but they had Kentucky's number and they had a few other big-time teams' numbers that we didn't have. And outside of the Michigan State.
What about the Winthrop game? Winthrop beating.
Hey, Men's taking a shot at you right now.
What? I wouldn't want
to increase the intelligence level. Don't worry, you won't.
Wow. Thanks, Mr. Minton. He's probably true. I can't argue with the guy when he's right. I'm an idiot. I'm a blithering idiot.
Yeah. But still, you're my blithering idiot.
How about the Winthrop upset last night? Does that play anywhere?
Who did it? Winthrop getting upset?
Did they lose that game or win it?
You're telling the story. You're asking the question.
I was watching the Today Show this morning at 7 o'clock. And Winthrop, was championship game. It's an automatic bid. I think the team was supposed to go didn't go.
Winthrop, let's see. I thought Winthrop lost to High Point in the Big South.
Well, okay. What was the game last night?
There was a few games last night.
There was a conference championship last night.
There was a few conference championships last night.
All right, name them off.
I had to name every conference championship game. I was watching hockey. They fight in there still. It's still fun. Hold on. I'll see if I can find see if I can find what you're talking about, Stephen.
I can't. I'm drunk. I got my brain on the Big Ten.
Well, I know the Horizon League was last night because I did watch a little bit of that before I went to bed. Here we go. I'll figure out what you're talking about, Steve, here in a second. It's how it usually goes. I'm good at it. I'm used to having to figure out what the hell you're talking about. Right now, Cincinnati's smashing Oklahoma State 6-8.
Houghton says, Mike, your wish on a coach may just come true. Heard today, BM. Who's BM?
Ben McCollum.
Oh, is that the guy you wanted?
Yes.
Is he from Iowa State?
No, he's the guy from Drake.
They just won a championship. Why would he leave Drake?
I don't know, the extra $5 million a year, probably.
Oh, okay.
It don't hurt, an extra $5 million. Well, now what did he hear? You stopped talking.
That's what it's on there. Look what he wrote it.
Well, I was trying to find the score of the game. I mean, last night Delaware beat Towson, Wofford won. I don't see anything here that would affect that.
Okay, right then don't worry about it.
All right, so what's Michael got? Yeah, I think he is the best choice. I mean, I watched the dude coach. I watch these teams play, and I mean, I don't want to say he's another Signetti because it's hard to be another Signetti, but he has all the earmarks of it. I mean, there's something to be said for a dude that you can say he's mid-level, but the Missouri Valley is not a bad conference, and they've got two or three quad one wins against SEC schools. I mean, they beat Vandy at Vandy, I believe. There was, I don't know, I think Kentucky and Tennessee might have both lost to them at Vandy, but the style of play. What about, all right, I'll give you this one, Steve. What about Alan Huss?
I have no idea who Alan Huss is.
Steve. Alan Huss. He's the High Point Panthers men's basketball coach.
And that's probably right where he should stay.
Why is that? He actually has a decent pedigree because I believe he was an assistant at Creighton, which we all know they got a really good head coach. He's 56-14 in 2 years. He's won the Big South tournament this year. He's won the last two Big South regular season championships.
There were a lot of good Steves.
I don't think there's enough proof there yet. I put it like this. I think Drake is a much higher level of basketball than what High Point is, though. Hey, wait a second. Now I gotta address this too. Michael Houghton. He slow plays. It won't work with India. But now, number one, you would get players that play that way, Michael.
Yeah,
but the other thing is this.
That's what the portal's all about.
Hey, the other thing is this, though. If you look at his history, I mean, he's played with teams that have averaged 90 a game. He's played with teams that have averaged 60 a game. He plays the style that fits his team. I think that's what we need, not somebody who, I mean, I don't mind slow play if the play is good. I mean, Tony Bennett won a national championship that way. IU used to have good players with the name Steve. That's what they're missing. Yes, Steve Alford. I can't remember. Steve Alford, Steve Isle, Steve Green.
Steve Offeld.
Was he good?
No, but it's not Steve.
I thought we always called him Steve Awful. That was mean. I'm sorry, Steve Awful. But I don't know. And Minton says Huss is top 25 in offensive efficiency, but that is at a High Point. That would worry me a little bit. And really, I don't know.
He's not in the mix. Of course, he'll be named coach.
Now, this is the thing, though. If all of a sudden his High Point team is in the Sweet 16,
he's in the mix.
He might be in some mixes then. You never know.
Never know
how this works. I mean, if you can get it done, because really, that would be more impressive than Dusty May getting a team to the Final Four named Florida Atlantic. So, but I do know this. When you look at High Point's schedule, I mean, with Drake, you can find the wins against Vandy. You can find like 3 or 4 pretty damn good wins against Power 4 schools. There's nothing on High Points, dude. I mean, High Point they lost to Norfolk State. They lost to UNC Greensboro, who's not a bad team. They lost to Missouri State. They lost to Longwood.
All right. We don't need your schedule. Let's go. Wrap it up.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Wait, we got something from Michael. I think we take Oregon tomorrow and MSU take Purdue in the final game. I believe Oregon makes it to the championship game, Michael. I think
Houghton likes me. See, Houghton likes me. I took Indiana over Oregon. I put Purdue and Michigan State in the finals.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a chance in hell Michigan State's going to win this thing or Purdue.
Okay.
So, I still got Oregon and Maryland. We'll see what happens. Hopefully,
All
I'll
right.
be wrong starting Thursday at noon. But Thursday will be on within a half hour after the game is over. Make sure you check back out here. And maybe
Golf.
somebody can update Steve with some Players Championship stuff as we go
I've got
on.
the TV on right here. Look, it's.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I can't. I got my screensaver on.
Yeah, you'll be fine then.
I've been watching
right.
the golf the whole time.
You just told me to wrap it up. Now you're talking about coffee.
Wrap it up.
All right, guys. You can follow Steve Risley. Not that he'll do anything.
I don't do social media.
You probably don't even remember the password.
I don't.
At @SRisley30 or whatever. You can follow me at Grueling Truth on X. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you're going to bet the games, bet them on BetMGM. Bob Zirkle said that his country school always played in the Marion sectional. Thank you for that information.
Is that county or country? It's county.
County, not country.
What was your county school, Bob?
It was a school that got beat a lot if they were playing the Marion sectional.
They're playing the Marion sectional. They didn't win it very often.
Nobody won the Marion sectional at Marion most times. Yeah. All
Bob,
right,
what was your school? Come on.
You got Bob shaking now. You can't even type.
Jesus Christ. Hey, Bob, my school, Lawrence Central, won the Hinkle sectional 2 of the 3 years I was there.
Yeah, they won a regional once too.
Won the regional ones. Then we lost to somebody state to Aurora.
A small country school with a bunch of 4-foot
They
players.
got us, man. I got no shame there.
That was a great basketball game.
It was a great basketball. And Tim Johnson had the game of his life, deservedly so. I would love to meet that guy one day and shake his hand.
Oh,
Madison Grant.
Yeah,
Madison Grant's a good school.
Yeah, there you go.
Where did Tolbert go? He went to Madison Heights in Anderson. Yeah, he went to Madison Heights.
All right, Steve, we're going to wrap it up because my steak's ready to be fixed.
Wait, Madison Grant. Hey, Bob, you ever been to the to Fairmont down there and seen the James Dean Memorial? They have a big festival down there, a car show, and they put up a movie screen. An inflatable movie screen down in Fairmont. Every year it's a big festival, and they show all 3 of the. You know the James Dean only made 3 movies.
Well, it's because he died, Steve.
I know he died at 25.
Yeah,
It wasn't even his fault.
3 movies by the time you're 25 is a lot of movies for 25.
Yeah, they're big. He did Rebel Without a Cause, Giant's one of the best Western movies ever made. And what was the third one? Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, and God, Bob will know the third one. Yes, my hometown. Look, he's from Fairmont. Cool. God, there was some cranky old doctor in Fairmont. Can't remember his name. I see Bob's probably the doctor. What was the third James Dean movie? Rebel Without a Cause, Giant, and no, it wasn't last weekend in September. That's when they have the festival.
East of Eden.
East of Eden. There you go. I went to I've gone to that festival in Fairmont. The car show is really cool. And it's all 50s stuff. It's really, it's really a throwback. It's a great small town Indiana stuff, what they can do.
Did you know that James Dean was set to star as Rocky Graziano in the drama film Somebody Up There Likes Me, which was a great film.
Yeah.
And do you know who actually was the star?
I know this, but I can't remember it. Who is it?
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman. Yeah, that's right.
So
you know that James Dean was blind as a bat. He had Coke bottle glasses he wore everywhere except on the movie screen.
All right. Now, do you want me to wrap it up again the way you told me to before, but then we didn't because you started talking about
James Dean in Fairmont, Indiana?
Well, at least I got to talk about there's somebody in
Madison Grant
that likes me. Somebody Up There Likes Me is a really good movie, by the way.
Marion was a great school. Monty Tow was from Oak Hill. Yep. Yeah. Bill Green was my all-star coach, Bob. Green, I could drink with the best. He and Larry Angle, they invented minimum practice.
I remember interviewing him one time where he told me that what got him starting drinking was when he got Steve Risley on his all-star team.
Yeah, we taught him how. He taught us how.
Let's not go any farther with that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap the show up. We will see you Thursday after the Indiana-Oregon Big Ten tournament game.
Make sure Bob gets back on. I got to talk more about.
Yeah, Bob, make sure you come back after the game. Everybody, come back after the game. I mean, it's amazing that, the numbers just keep going up no matter what inane shit we talk about. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. But for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening. Hey, wait a second, real quick. If you're watching on YouTube, give us some likes. We always got like 3, 4, 5,000 people watch the show all over the place, but very few actually have time to push like.
Mike, don't you get it? They watch it and they don't like us. They watch it because we
they all come back again and
How bad can this get? They don't like.
Again.
Give them a thumbs down. They could do.
Tomorrow, what time are we going to be on tomorrow?
We're on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be on Thursday after the Indiana basketball
After the Indiana game. So that's about 2:15, 2:30.
Kyle Macy's granddaughter signed with Notre Dame.
Oh, no, yeah. He was from, Peru, Indiana, which is up there too. That's great news. Great. He went to Notre Dame. That's a great women's basketball program. Great place to go. Notre Dame is a great university. You get your degree from Notre Dame and you are set for the rest of your life.
Yeah, the Kelly Business School, I kind of question anymore since I met you.
Yeah, I brought it down. It's me. It's not Kelly School of Business is considered the Harvard of the Midwest Business School.
I really don't think it is, Steve.
It is. Actually, it is.
Can you show me proof of that, Steve?
Pardon?
Can you show me proof of that?
I could. Yeah, I could, but have a good one, guys. You too, Bob. Come back. We'll talk more about James Dean and that festival. That's a great festival.
All right, let's do this.
Giant jukebox they put up.
Did you say jukebox?
Jukebox.
Oh, I thought you were going to get us in trouble. No. All right, everybody, pound the like button. We will see you guys Thursday after the Indiana-Oregon game. For now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster.